asavandami bhante sambang aparadhang kamatame bhante maya katang punyang samina anumodetam bang samina katang punyang maihang datam bang sadhu sadhu anumodami ukasakarunyang katava Pabbajjang detame bhante ahang bhante Pabbajjang yachami tutiyang pi ahang bhante Pabbajjang yachami tatiyang pi ahang bhante Pabbajjang yachami Sambha dukkha nisarana nibbana satchikaranathaya imang kasabanga hetava Pabbajjetamang bhante anukampang upadaya Sambha dukkha nisarana nibbana satchikaranathaya imang kasabanga hetava Pabbajjetamang bhante anukampang upadaya Sambha dukkha nisarana nibbana satchikaranathaya imang kasabanga hetava Pabbajjetamang bhante anukampang upadaya. Sambha dukkha nisarana nibbana satchikaranathaya imang kasabanga hetava Pabbajjetamang bhante anukampang upadaya Sambha dukkha nisarana nibbana satchikaranathaya imang kasabanga hetava Pabbajjetamang bhante anukampang upadaya Sambha dukkha nisarana nibbana satchikaranathaya imang kasabanga hetava Pabbajjetamang bhante anukampang upadaya.
So now you requested to go forth, to go from Anagarika stage or common stage to Novice stage, one step further. And this means that you're stepping towards something, to a new environment. It's all for the sake of understanding Dhamma. But we also choose this special occasion on this today's day in memory of your mother, Hiriko. So we remember her, passed away last year. We are always grateful towards what our parents did for us, help us with upbringing. They were protecting us, giving us education, helping us to be a good person. But that's the most they can do for us. At some point, we are all in the same boat, and impermanence, death, is unavoidable. And also we have to remember how things are impermanent, and also try to think very carefully about what we're taking as a refuge. When I was, a few days ago, I heard a fire brigade alarm. It's quite common thing we can hear around here and also around Slovenia in the news, how sometimes houses get burned. I was thinking about those people who now have to struggle with the light. Fire comes, especially they build new houses, new safety, provide for their family and even for their parents, and suddenly overnight the life changes. The house gets burned, the memories get burned. How much the fire can does and completely change the directions of our life. We have to be then, hopefully they have short houses, but still they have to start from the beginning. It's not the same. So when thinking then reflecting the 4 elements, what the fire can do. Fire just takes everything away. What the water can do, floods, also can destroy us. Wind, earth. So 4 elements where they change the oven balance between them can come to the great catastrophe. So if sometimes it's too much of fire, it burns. If it's too much of water element, it floods. If it's too much of some kind of movement to the earth element, it could be earthquakes. So it's all about 4 elements. It's all dependent upon their balance and relations between these 4 elements. Everything what we see, whatever we have, follows the own law of 4 elements. But also our body is 4 elements. We're part of the world. So external, so internal. As internal, so external. It doesn't matter how we look around. We're all exposed to these 4 elements, and we really don't have control over those 4 elements. So it's good to reflect that we cannot really control things. We cannot say for sure how long the structures will last, not even how long our life is going to last. So you take the refuge on those things which are completely outside of our control, we're just going to suffer. But we're becoming monks to encourage each other, not to rely, not to take that as a refuge. Yes, we're dependent upon those 4 elements, but they're not really ours. And the same, the Buddha gave a guideline for us, that also we have to talk about 5 parts of the body. It's what we're talking about. Hair the head, hair the body, nails, teeth, skin. So we look in the mirror, looking at our beautiful teeth, if you have it. Looking at our beautiful hair, but then all these things like nails, hair, teeth, skin, when they all fall off from our body, it's always disgusting. We don't want. If you see like a hair in the bathroom, it's like, oh, disgusting. If you see, nail in somebody's room, oh, how revolting, But this is like, but when you have it in our hands, it's nice and it's beautiful. And when you just these nails or these parts of the body changes the context, changes the environment, it's still the same, it's still a nail, it's still a hair. They change completely our take on it. So what was before internal, or taking the hours, it goes out, becomes external, we don't like it. But we have to see it like this, the same as these 4 elements. As internal, so external, as external, so internal. The same with these parts of the body, which is very clear and obvious that it's the same nail. The nail in the pins, hair lying around, hair the body, hair the hair, hair the body, hair with the head, nails, teeth and skin. Over there is where what we identify with. And then we have to see in ourselves that actually this body is just nothing but kind of subject to decay, subject to aging, and subject to death. So keep that as a reflection, thinking about those elements and out of the body and continue practicing Buddha teaching, that basically whatever we identify with is nothing but sankhara. So basically came together and we fall apart. So remember that and repeat these things after me in Pali. So Kesa,
Kesa,
Loma,
Loma,
Naka,
Naka,
Danta,
Danta,
Dacho,
Tacho,
Dacho,
Tacho,
Danta,
Danta,
Naka,
Naka,
Loma,
Loma,
Kesa.
Kesa.
Speak a few words in German for the parents of Simon, who is from Germany, and so is my mother tongue, so I ask for your patience for a few minutes. So they also join, they can take part in this ceremony. They're not live here, but they can watch the ceremony later on video. So a few words. Ein paar Worte an die Verwandten von Simon, die ich gehört habe, auch die an der Ordination teilhaben können durch das Video, das wir jetzt aufnehmen. Es ist ein sehr besonderer Tag für Simon. Das ist ein Tag, den ein Mönch sein ganzes Leben lang nicht vergisst. Der Tag von Pabbajja, wenn man vom Hausleben in die Hauslosigkeit, wie gesagt, zieht. Es ist ein Tag, auf den sich Simon schon sehr lange vorbereitet hat. Und wir haben auch dieses Datum gewählt, weil Simons Mutter Ulrike an diesem Tag verstorben ist, vor genau einem Jahr. Und es ist ein großer Schritt für Simon, jetzt Mönch zu werden. Hat sich schon lange durch sein Studium und durch seine Praxis darauf vorbereitet. Ja, wir machen das heute eben auch, um die Unterstützung seiner Familie zu würdigen, um das Leben seiner Mutter zu würdigen und anzuerkennen, die Fürsorge und Liebe und Unterstützung, die er auch von zu Hause erhalten hat, das ihm auch möglich gemacht hat, diesen Weg zu gehen. Simon hat, wie viele von uns, einige der guten und unangenehmen Seiten des Lebens kennengelernt. Und ich denke mir auch, dass das Verscheiden seiner Mutter ihm vielleicht auch noch einen extra Antrieb gegeben hat, nach etwas zu suchen, nach einer Sicherheit zu suchen, nach wahrem Frieden zu suchen, nach Freiheit von Leiden, wie wir das der Lehre des Buddha gemäß finden können. So, dieser Tag ist ein Schritt weiter, sein ganzes Leben dafür zu verwenden. Er wird in den Mönchsorden als Novize eintreten und daran arbeiten, wirklichen Frieden, wirkliche Freiheit finden zu können. Wir führen das Mönchsleben, um das Leiden zu überkommen. Das geht vom ganz groben Leiden wie Alter, Krankheit, Tod, Verzweiflung, geistiger und körperlicher Schmerz, bis hin zu dem immer währenden Mangel, dass irgendetwas fehlt, dass es immer nicht gut genug ist, dass wir immer noch etwas suchen müssen, um zufrieden werden zu können. Und dem auch widmen wir uns in dieser Praxis, um wirklich alles Leiden überkommen zu können, dadurch, dass wir verstehen, dass wir die wahre Natur der Dinge verstehen und dieses Verlangen, das uns immer weiter treibt, das uns keine Ruhe lässt, überkommen zu können. Und dafür ist das Mönchsleben sehr geeignet, weil wir nicht die Verantwortungen, die Verpflichtungen eines Berufslebens, eines Familienlebens haben, sondern uns ganz dieser Aufgabe widmen können. Und ich hoffe, dass Simon Freude und Glück und Zufriedenheit findet in diesem Leben und seine Praxis ihn bis ans Ende von allem Leiden und zu wahrem Glück, zum Frieden von Nirvana führen kann. Still have a little bit of time, so I'll talk to you also in English. I don't know whether anyone understood me. There's also, I think Hiriko said a lot of it already, what I can say. This is a very special day for Simon. He can go further one step on his journey. He has prepared himself for a long time. He has already even in university studied Buddhism, and he has prepared himself, so he's living with us for some time. And now he can take the robes of a Buddhist monk. We also remember his mother today, who has passed away exactly 1 year ago. So to appreciate the goodness and the love and care that she gave to him, which also made it possible for him to choose this path, which is actually quite something very extraordinary. And that means that from now on he can dedicate himself with even more sincerity to the practice that leads to the end of suffering. Suffering in the teachings of the Buddha is partly that outright suffering, like aging, sickness and death and pain and mental and physical suffering, but it's also the much more subtle of never enough, never really satisfied. That's force that's really driving us. It never lets us rest and always go for more. And in the Buddhist teaching we're trying to address this suffering. It's called craving in the Buddhist teaching. To overcome this, the monastic life is very conducive, because we do not have to take on the responsibilities and the burdens of a day life. We don't have to have a work life. We don't have to take care of our families in the way we usually do. So this is a dedication of life to the overcoming of suffering, which comes through understanding the true nature of existence. And taking this next step is a step further to dedicate, to learn and to practice according to our best abilities. And I hope that Simon, this one is an outer step, but of course the very important thing is the inner practice that should be supported by this outer progress into monkhood. And I hope that he will be able to make use of this time that he has in this monastery, that he has as a Buddhist monk wherever he will live in the future, and that he can dedicate himself to the necessary extent to the practice and understand the nature of reality and work with this energy that is always keeping us going and going, and that he will find peace, that he will find the happiness, true happiness of peace that according to our understanding can be found through the Buddhist practice, through leading a virtuous life, dedicating oneself to the study of the Buddhist teaching, and then the practice of leading a harmless life. That's also one of the great advantages of the Buddhist life. We can afford to lead a very simple life in which we, at least intentionally, don't harm anyone, and can cultivate our mind based on that, cultivate a balanced mind, cultivate a clear mind, and understand reality, which leads to dispassion and letting go and finding peace. And I wish that for Simon and our guide Simon, as for anyone else here, that we can walk this path to the end and find freedom, real freedom from suffering, independent of the outer circumstances, independent of pleasures and pain, that we can find peace within. And also like to wish that everybody who's coming here can rejoice in this goodness, and maybe also reflect. And also a monk is always a kind of messenger, just to see that a different lifestyle is also possible, where we can really dedicate ourselves to our abilities, to the Buddhist training, and make the best of our lives. So it's also an opportunity of rejoicing in somebody taking up this path. That's what I wanted to share. A few moments, I guess, we'll come back.
So that's just to get summarize what was just happening. So the first part, which you really witnessed, which was to say everything in Pali language. Actually, also this is the Indian language, which supposed Buddha was speaking, and Simon actually also studied Pali very well, and he's teaching us also Pali language. So he understood quite well what he was saying, but maybe not all of us. So what he was saying is, please allow me to offer my respect, Venerable Sir. Please grant forgiveness for all my shortcomings. Whatever goodness has been accumulated by me, may I offer it to you, and may I partake in the accumulated goodness of the Venerable Sir. Good, good, I rejoice. Out of compassion, Venerable Sir, please give me ordination. Please, Venerable Sir, give me ordination for second and third time. Venerable Sir, accepting this saffron robe, please cause me to go forth, for me to practice the holy life, to escape from all suffering, and to realize Nibbana. And then when he comes back, we use similar formula, again being very polite and asking for forgiveness for bothering us. And then he will also accept 3 refuges and 8 precepts. So refuges are Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. This means that we take refuge in the teacher, that we actually have trust what he's saying, in Dhamma, which means in the nature things that they are. And Sangha, which I would say, I understand it, that, you know, not just that there are other beings who become awakened the same as the Buddha. So and that means it's like everybody can follow that path as well. It's not just reserved for one or just few selected people, but everybody can realize the truth. And the 8 precepts which Samanera, novice, make commitment to is they make determination that to abstain from taking life, from stealing, sexuality, so false speech, drinks and drugs which cause heedlessness, eating at improper times, from dancing, singing, music and shows, wearing garlands, using perfumes and beautifying cosmetics, and to use high and large luxurious seats and beds, and also accepting from gold and silver, which means money. Monastic rules, then when we become monks, are pretty much the same rules, just bhikkhu life become more refined rules, but all within those 8. And then Anagarika Simon, we get the new name. We will not be known as Simon anymore, but we see what happens. And afterwards, after receiving another requisite, alms bowl from which we are eating, he's also going to take Nisaya or dependence. So he will request if I can be his teacher, and it's like, and then I will say back in the way that we basically will become a burden to each other. He will be my burden, and I will be his burden. And we support each other in this holy life. So it's a bit of responsibility, but I think with Simon will be pretty easy. So it's kind of easy to say, yes, of course, welcome. So we just wait a few minutes. It seems you also need some time to get rest. It's not normal for first time.
This is complicated.
Yeah.
Ukasavandami bhante Sambang aparadhang kamatame bhante Maya katang punyang samina Anumoditam bang Samina katang punyang maihang datam bang Sadhu sadhu anumodami Ukasakarunyang katava Tisaranena saha silani detame bhante Ahang bhante saranasilang yachami Dutiyampi ahang bhante saranasilang yachami Tatiyampi ahang bhante saranasilang yachami
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Yamatang vadami tang vadeti.
Okasa ama bhante.
Buddham saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammam saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sangham saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddham saranang gacchami.
Tutyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammam saranang gacchami.
Tutyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sangham saranang gacchami.
Tutyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddham saranang gacchami.
Tatyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammam saranang gacchami.
Tatyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sangham saranang gacchami.
Tatyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tisaranangamatam nikitam.
Okasa ama bhante.
Panatipata veramani.
Panatipata veramani.
Adinadana veramani.
Adinadana veramani.
Abramacharya veramani.
Abrahmacharya veramani.
Musavada veramani.
Musavada veramani.
Surameraya majapamaratana veramani.
Surameraya majapamarathana veramani.
Vikala bhojana veramani.
Vikala bhojana veramani.
Nachagita vadita visukadasana veramani.
Nacha gita vadita visukadasana veramani.
Mala gandha vilepana dharana mandana vibhusanathana veramani.
Malagandha vilepana dharana mandana vibhusanathana veramani.
Uchasayana mahasayana veramani.
Uchasayana mahasayana veramani.
Jatarupara jatapatigahana veramani.
Jata rajata patigahana veramani.
Imani dasa sikapadani samadhiyami.
Imani dasa sikapadani samadhiyami. Imani dasa sikapadani samadhiyami. Imani dasa sikapadani samadhiyami.
So welcome Samanera. And one of the things we also receive as a symbol of having a relinquishing the old ways and starting the new is also changing the name. So from now on we will not call you anymore Simon, but you will be Sihacitto. Sihacitto is a combination of two words. Siha means lion, Chitta means heart. So lion heart, heart of the lion. It was also chosen because his family name is Linhart, which is actually the same meaning, is the lion heart, and not just because kind of goes together well with his surname. Also starts with the same letter S as Simon, so we have the same letter. And also because he has already a bit of lion heart, he has a lot of faith in the Dharma, he's very determined, so hopefully this name is going to be a reminder of the quality that you have for ending of all existential pain and realize the awakening and liberation from suffering. So wishing you the successful journey. Welcome. So, okay, I can see the ball.
Kasavandami bhante sambang aparadhang kamatame bhante maya katang punyang samina anumoditam bang samina katang punyang maihang datam bang sadhu sadhu anumodami ukasakarunyang katava Nisayang detame bhante Ahang bhante Nisayang yachami Dutiyang pi ahang bhante Nisayang yachami Tatiyang pi ahang bhante Nisayang yachami Acharyo me bhante hohi Acharyo me bhante hohi, Acharyo me bhante hohi.
Opaikam.
Okasa sampati chami.
Patirupam.
Okasa sampati chami.
Pasidikena sampadeti.
Sampati chami. Ajjata gidani acharyo maihang varo. Ahampi acharyas bharo. Ajjata gedani acharyo maihang bharo ahampi acharyas bharo Ajjata gedani acharyo maihang bharo ahampi acharyas bharo.
The last words from today. The teacher is my responsibility and I am the teacher's responsibility.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Yang dan sam dan madang abhisame chapako uju chasu vacho chasamudu anatimani santo sako chasu paro chahapati cho chasara hukavuti santin liyo chanipako chahapaka potule suvanandugito nachakur
Yasabhago kasami manasam bhavare aparimana udam hajo chakiriyam cha saskadan avriram nasapata itam chadam visinova sayanova yavata saligatamiro etam satim nadideyam brahmanetam viharam vidamahuti chanupadama silava dasamena sampano kame subine yageda nahijatu gambhaseya punareti.
Sambuddho Bhagava Bodhan Bhagavantam Abhivadin Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammam Namasam Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sangham Namami.
Finito.